From Washington, this is VOA News. Ukrainian opposition pushes for reforms after offers of top government positions. No significant news from Syrian peace talks, but hope for aid in homes. I'm Vincent Bruce, reporting from Washington. Embattled Ukrainian President Viktor Yanukovych has offered government posts to two top opposition leaders, but they say protests will continue until all their demands are met. Speaking to a large crowd Saturday in Kiev's Independence Square, Arseniy Yatsenyuk said the opposition is not afraid of accepting more political responsibility. He said, however, that President Yanukovych must still meet several key opposition demands that talks will continue. UN Mediator Lakhdar Brahimi says the first ever day of joint meetings aimed at resolving nearly 3 years of civil war between the Syrian government and the opposition did not yield significant results.
We haven't achieved much, but we are continuing. The two delegations are here.
Brahimi told reporters in Geneva representatives of the two sides discussed the dire humanitarian situation in Homs.
We hope that ultimately a convoy of aid, goods, both food and non-food items and some medical supplies will be allowed to go into the old city.
Brahimi expressed hope a humanitarian convoy could reach Homs as soon as Monday. South Sudan's government says anti-government fighters attacked positions held by troops on Saturday, an indication that a fragile ceasefire that took effect on Friday may be beginning to fray. The information minister told reporters that opposition fighters were continuing attacks on government forces. He said the government security forces would defend themselves if the attacks continued. More details on these stories at voanews.com. Egyptian officials say clashes left at least 29 people dead Saturday as government supporters marked the third anniversary of the uprising that toppled Hosni Mubarak. The day was also marked by protests against another general who appears set to repeat the pattern of military-influenced government, as well as further threats from Islamist militants. VOA's Elizabeth Arrett has more from Cairo.
On the third anniversary of the Egyptian uprising against longtime leader Hosni Mubarak, tens of thousands of people, carefully vetted by security, flooded Cairo's Tahrir Square for government-sanctioned celebrations. Many held aloft posters of Defense Minister and de facto leader General Abdel Fattah el-Sisi. Nearby, police used tear gas and shot live ammunition overhead to hold back an opposition protest, including activists from the 2011 uprising. Elsewhere in Cairo and around the country, police clashed with supporters of former President Mohamed Morsi, ousted by the military last year after popular protests. Many of those on Tahrir Square are calling on Sisi to run for president, saying he'll bring stability to a country that has seen upheaval upon upheaval over the past 3 years. Elizabeth Arrett, VOA News, Cairo.
A grenade explosion near the site of Saturday's inauguration for Madagascar's President Eri Rajaonarimampianina has left a child dead and more than 30 people injured. Investigators say the blast occurred near a stadium in the capital where the president had been sworn in earlier in the day. The Reuters news agency reports a musical show was underway in the stadium when the blast occurred. In the U.S., in the eastern state of Maryland, 3 people were killed in a shooting Saturday at a shopping mall, including the suspected gunman. The mall in the Baltimore suburb of Columbia, Maryland, is just under 50 kilometers north of Washington. Police were helping clear people from the mall and announced on a Twitter a little more than an hour after the emergency call that the shopping center was believed to be secure. U.S. President Barack Obama is preparing for his State of the Union address this coming Tuesday. VOA will provide live coverage of the President's State of the Union address starting at 9 o'clock Eastern Time Tuesday and worldwide on Wednesday at 2 hours Universal Time on VOA radio, television, and at voanews.com. French President François Hollande says he has separated from his partner of 7 years, Valérie Trierweiler, following a media frenzy over reports he has been having an affair with an actress. Mr. Hollande announced the split Saturday to the French news agency AFP. And the government in the Central African Republic has named a new prime minister as tensions remain high in the capital, Bangui. More on all of these stories and more 24 hours a day at voanews.com. I'm Vincent Bruce, VOA News, reporting from the VOA News Center in Washington.